Against the backdrop of the towering castle, people discuss the birthday of Mr. Alt, who is 18 years old and the king's tamer. Mr. Alt is about to get an ability, and everyone hopes that this ability will be good. After all, as long as he is in the kingdom, they are safe. And also, a comfortable life with the gods begins with good skills. People's laughter and joyful atmosphere are on the street. A guy with a short haircut named Alt is informed that from now on he is expelled not only from his home, but also from the city, which cannot but surprise the guy. In this world, upon turning 18, everyone can choose their ability. Alt works in the palace as a monster tamer. He thanks a cat girl named Tama for protecting her and tells her that he has brought his matatabi juice. Tama puts a wreath on the head of the main character, and he benefits her again. Today Alt turned 18 and gained the ability. A man with a beard and mustache shouts at Alt, outraged by the high price of 1,000,000 gold for summoning a monster and yet no information about this monster. Alt addresses the man who is his father with his hands raised. The full name of the main character is Alt Austin. He is the son of a nobleman. Alt asks his father to look at his status, to which the latter immediately turns his attention. It turns out that Alt got a skill called God of Gacha, which in exchange for 1,000,000 gold helps to summon a random messenger. The protagonist's father becomes furious and denies what he sees. Enraged, the man accuses Alt of wanting to destroy the Austin family. Sitting down in a chair, he laments the bad feeling and Alt's lack of interest in the county. The main character denies his father's attacks. He says the work is good for both the city and the family, to which the father angrily asks him to shut up, reminding him that the amount is truly large. The protagonist's father tells him to prove the usefulness of his ability. He orders the servant to collect all Altu's wealth, to which the hero does not react joyfully. Alt admits that he may not live up to his father's expectations, and he immediately responds that in this case the hero will have to leave home. This infuriates the main character. He knows all the characteristics of the monsters in the palace. If they stop listening to Alt, he will lose trust. Then his father assures him that his twin brother named Namakel will do no worse, because he has received the Dragon Tamer skill. The man smiles because they have an advantage over the surrounding nations. With Namakel, the county will be safe. The main character is discouraged by what is happening. At this moment, a chest of gold is placed on the floor and, as the father explains, there is exactly 1,000,000 gold pieces in it. The main character falls to the floor. He worries that using the ability could put them all in danger. Alt pulls himself together and is hesitant at first, but still activates the ability with thoughts of summoning a stronger monster than the dragon. He has great hope and belief in the possibility of living in peace. A large flying disc appears in the center of the room, causing everyone to be amazed. A hologram with information appears above the disc, which never ceases to amaze the main character. The hologram says that only once is Alt guaranteed to receive the goddess, but the hero still does not understand what this means. Instructions fly from the hologram to the hero. Alt is still perplexed by what is happening. In the list, the main character sees strong and powerful monsters, and hopes for the possibility of one of them falling out. And if there really is such a chance, then the hero has hope. Alt voices the amount in the chest and, somewhat hesitatingly, says that the gacha is open. At this moment, the disc begins to spin, and a column of bright light appears from it. Everyone is very surprised by everything that is happening. A light haze initially blocks the view of the main character. The father asks in surprise if Alt has summoned something. The maids, worried, look towards the disc. Someone's voice is heard on the disc, and Alt's excitement increases. The disc contains a pretty girl in an unusual dress. She doesn't understand how she ended up in this place. The hero is perplexed as to how the skill for summoning monsters summoned a person. The girl looks at him in surprise. Then she rushes into his arms, exclaiming how much she missed him. Alt doesn't understand her at all. The girl says that she is Rudia, the goddess of fertility. She also reports that she has been waiting for quite a long time for Alt to call her and is interested in the hero's affairs. Alt is even more confused about what is happening and who this person is since she knows his name. At this moment, the father informs the main character about his expulsion not only from home, but also from the city. The father says that he is giving him the borderland of Silesia and that the hero should not return until he lives up to his name. He says goodbye to his son with his back to him. The main character is extremely upset by this and is also distracted because of this. He doesn't answer the call the first time. Rudia wonders if Alt is listening to her. The hero apologizes and asks what happened. The goddess immediately reacts. She grumbles at the absent-mindedness of the protagonist, but also immediately supports him. Alt justifies his father's actions with a soft smile on his face. Rudia, somewhat embarrassed, replies that Alt is too kind. But the main character immediately asks a question about her identity and wonders if she is a monster, which, of course, confuses her. Rudia is angry with Alt, showing herself off to him and condemning him for his inappropriate behavior towards a pretty girl. She again states that she is a goddess and was summoned by his skill god Gacha, and he makes it clear that they have not yet met in this world, and also that from now on she will serve as his messenger forever and ever. She carefully looks at the protagonist's face, noting that she knew that Alt had lost all memories of his past life. But Rudia was looking forward to their new meeting and deliberately put on such an open outfit, which involuntarily made the hero embarrassed. The goddess speaks with enthusiasm about the payment she received in the form of money, because the main character received not only the cute goddess, but also some of her abilities. She then asks to check the status, to which Alt immediately reacts and sees the new skill appear. Drops of the World Tree. This skill allows you to produce drops of this tree and heal any kind of wounds. Viola enthusiastically examines his status, reading carefully. He discovers a new unique skill. Despite the fact that upon reaching 18 years of age, only one unique skill should appear, which Alt received. He discovers something interesting. Alt discovers that this skill can even resurrect the dead and finds it incredible. The goddess presses herself tightly to the main character, noticing that he was speechless when he saw the inherited skills. She says that 2,000 years ago the elves paid her a lot to get this miracle drop. But 2,000 years ago, during the War of the Great Demon Kings, the gods lost their powers and fell into sleep. However, the trump card for resurrecting the gods is the skill Alt acquired, which they entrusted to him. Rudia informs him with a smile. The main character looks away, noticing that the scale is too large, and he has neither such power nor now a noble title. He looks into the distance, saying that now he does not even have the opportunity to return to his city and asking a rhetorical question about what such a person can do. Alt is happy for his brother, who has gained strong skills. The hero speaks with enthusiasm about a trip to Silesia. Rudia looks at him in amazement. Stretching innocently, Alt says with a smile that he was working all the time. And now he has a good opportunity, because he has finally gained freedom. Now he has the opportunity to do whatever he wants. The goddess, worried, turns to him, but Alt saw something below that immediately attracted his attention. Below, a monster similar to a wolf began to attack people. Rudia noticed this with fear. The huge wolf growled and attacked people nearby. The main character looked at what was happening in confusion while the monster continued to wound and attack people. Alt was horrified. His hands began to shake from the scene he saw, which did not hide from Rudia's eyes. She worriedly asked if the hero was okay. However, the latter did not answer her. He, gritting his teeth, apologized to the amazed goddess and jumped down. Landing softly, Alt quickly reached the enraged huge wolf and grabbed it by the neck, shouting to stop, thereby saving the boy. Squeezing the monster's mouth tighter, the main character shouts for the wolf to be quieter, pressing the monster's head to the ground. Alt orders him to sit down and asks him to be a good boy to the wolf who is resisting so hard. But the monster only begins to resist with renewed vigor, opening its mouth with difficulty. The main character again makes a dozen efforts to press the wolf's head to the ground again. The hero tells the monster that everything is fine and that he is on his side and will not harm him. This causes the wolf to moderate its ardor, but does not calm it down completely. Then Alt again repeats that he is fine and promises to protect the wolf. And finally, under these words, the huge wolf calms down and lies down next to the main character. The people around are stunned by the unfolding spectacle, and Alt is pleased with the result. He takes a package out of his bag and unpacks it. This package turns out to be a packed piece of meat. Alt gives a piece of meat to the wolf. He asks the monster to eat, calm down and come to his senses. The white wolf immediately bites into the food provided to him, while Alt confirms his guess about the hunger of this beast. This moment, the main character is called by Rudia, who is running up. She asks him to hurry up as there is an injured person. Alt reacts with alarm to this, and they immediately go to the crowded group of people. In the center of the pandemonium lies a woman with a bloody head. People around are trying to stop the bleeding, but because the blow was strong, she is unconscious, and restoration magic does not help. A crying girl sits next to the injured woman, calling her mom. The woman lies with her head on her knees. Viola looks at this picture with alarm. The girls providing assistance instantly recognize Alt and treat him with respect, while the hero tells him to calm down and examines the injured unconscious woman. Alt hopes for help from the palace, and the girl next to him begins to cry even more and call for her mother. The main character quickly jumps up. He says to prepare water and bandages for them, while he runs after the palace magician. People around also react quickly and offer their help. But then Alta grabs Rudy's hand and tells him to slow down since he can help himself. The hero looks at the goddess in bewilderment. She confidently nods her head. Turning his head towards the victim, Alt sees the attention of people around him. The girl notices that she heard that today is his birthday. Rudy supports the main character and asks him to trust his skills. Alt clenches his fists and asks permission to help himself. He stands over the woman and stretches his arms over her, uttering in his thoughts the desire for his skills to be useful. The main character concentrates and turns to a drop of the world tree. In an instant, a drop of water forms in his hands and falls towards the woman. As soon as the drop touched the victim, the light surrounded her body. This leads everyone around to great surprise. Viola, being in the same amazement, notices that the light feels warm. The glow around the woman subsides, and the wound on the victim's head heals. Those around you can hardly believe what they saw. The main character is no less surprised by the sight he sees. The woman wakes up and in bewilderment tries to understand what happened. Everyone around is happy, and the girl rushes into her mother's arms. Alto, amazed by the result, is glad that he was able to do it. The girl sits in her mother's arms while Rudy turns to Alt. The main character rejoices, looking at his palm. The goddess breathes out a sigh of relief. The people who witnessed everything that happened discuss Alt and his ability, saying that they should be grateful to him. Alt turns his attention to the whining wolf and gently tells him that everything is fine now, The main character, together with the goddess and the wolf, leaves the city. Alt says he's glad it's a good day. Then Rudy clarifies whether Alt is confident in his actions, to which he assures her that it won't work out any other way. The white wolf whines, drawing the hero's attention to himself. The main character gives the wolf the name Snowball because of the color of his fur. In response, Snowball barks appreciatively, while Rudy praises his fur. And immediately the goddess's mood changes to anger. She becomes angry with the former wolf tamer and condemns his action. Rudy quickly changes her mood again and now supports Snowball, assuring him that the current owner is a very good person. Snowy barks back again. Rudy laughs, saying that the wolf is already happy and it's good that he was able to apologize to the child and mother. Alt clarifies that apparently Snowball was very hungry, and the goddess notices the thinness of the animal. The main character assures that now everything will be fine with the wolf, and he does not want this to happen to anyone else, so he will try his best. Rudy does not understand Alt's intentions. Then he explains that being with monsters is not so bad. And also today's incident reminded him of an important dream. The main character wants to create a paradise for monsters, where they can live happily with people. Alt wants everyone to get along together and this is his dream, he says with a smile. The goddess is surprised by such a speech, and Alt says that it was thanks to her that all this happened, while Snowball licks his cheek. Then she asks him again, stunned, and Alt explains that her support at the right time helped him a lot, and as a result, he saved the man. Alt continues his speech and says that even Snowball was forgiven and thus he realized his dream. The main character thanks Rudia for the skills she gave him, and herself. This makes the sweet goddess feel embarrassed. But she quickly pulls herself together and hugs the guy by the neck, reaches out to kiss him, saying that she couldn't help but help such a nice guy. She asks what else the main character needs, but he replies that everything is fine and he doesn't need anything. He just wanted to thank her and forgive Snowball for help. Alt suggests getting on the road. He says that they will explore Silesia and plan to build a city there, but they will face unimaginable difficulties, so he asks if Rudia will come with them. The goddess agrees without hesitation and tells him that it turns out they are engaged and she will do everything she can to help him wherever he goes. The main character thanks her, although he doesn't understand what she meant by the word engaged, because he never made a promise to anyone. To which Rudia gets angry and tells him to quickly remember everything. The whole company walks with a cheerful laugh under the slight indignation of the goddess.